Hello and welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Eric, joined once again with Bevan,
Hey guys.
bringing you some more Footballers' Wives. Season 3, episodes 4 to 6. Tommy, roll the credits and we'll chat. These were fun. I like these episodes. Felt like a
Yeah,
lot of like repetitive things between like Tanya and Frank. Um, Kyle. Kyle's story's kind of weak. Like I feel like he's like the third story.
yeah.
Which is sad because I feel like since he's an original cast member, he'd be like given better material. But
Well, it sort of peters off and it sort of goes back up again towards the end of the season, sorry.
I guess we'll talk about that for. I really don't have many notes on him because he really, like I said, kind of backburnery. Season 3, episode 4, no title, aired, which is kind of this is kind of weird that it aired on March 4th, 2004, because it's season 3, episode 4. I didn't 3.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? So I was like, okay. But anyway, that's when it aired, and we'll start with them. Hazel checks in on Kyle. She wants him to come back to the team. I think this is where Hazel kind of took her spot at the footballers board, where Frank's still kind of giving her little jabs here and there, right?
Yeah, so like this is was it Hazel? It's all sort of the club needed money to keep it going, and Hazel's been the big contributor, but obviously she gets to own a piece of it then too.
Elaine's still on. Kyle calls for Elaine. I think she was helping him earlier in the day, but he wants her to hang out because he's kind of fallen for her a little bit. It seems
Yeah,
they're getting ready for what's his name's wedding.
Harley and Shannon's.
Totally blanked. Harley and Shannon's wedding. At the wedding, they danced, and she like gets him up on his feet, and she's like, "Oh, this is only physio." Like she's trying to be like professional and not be like involved. I think she's like fighting her feelings for him, kind of. And they do end up kissing later on in the episode. That's all I really got on them. They really didn't do a ton.
Yeah, no. So I think that's like really largely what it is about. It's kind of establishing their like little romantic feelings for each other, and like Kyle sort of like pulling the walls down a little bit because he's kind of been pretty heavy. What was it? Hazel brings Elaine back. Like so, Kyle had like after that bitch fight, Kyle had basically chucked her, and Hazel's like he doesn't get a say. So she brought Elaine back in and says, you know what, Kyle, you're an employee. You don't get a say. No one cares what you think and stuff like that. And basically, he has to eat shit and just this is your physio.
Yeah, and then also Hazel had fired him from being a client, but didn't fire him from being an actual footballer.
Well, yeah, because now she's in the corporate element of the club. Like she still has to like light a fire under him. Basically, he's still going to deal with her.
He was actually confused by that too, because he's like, "I thought you fired me." She's like, "I fired you for my client," but she was getting rid of all of her clients anyway.
Yeah, because she was going to buy it. She was buying out the club.
Hazel is one of my favorites. She's kind of, I don't know, she's fun. We'll talk about, I guess, Frank and Tanya.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
of course, continuing that story, she'll get to be sole beneficiary if she stays faithful, which
Yeah.
she's not.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as she and Conrad continue their affair in this one, she's like, "Oh, he told me not to leave the house. Didn't say I couldn't have anyone over."
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And that, yeah, pretty much what happens. She brings Conrad over later.
I know Frank's been taking heart meds, so Tanya decides to basically try to fuck him to death and kind of drug him along the way as well.
I gotta say, like, they've got the sex scenes in the show. Fuck, they're awful.
They they are. He's like riding up.
Yeah,
I'm
but
like, damn.
it's like really violent, and like, I'm like, oh my god, like,
For him to not even like suspect that she's trying to do, I mean, wouldn't you? I don't know. After like their tumultuous past, I don't know.
I mean, like, he's feeling a bit like depressed and dejected until he has sex with her, and then he starts feeling better about himself.
At the wedding, Tanya and Amber are fighting. This is where I think that Conrad was in the bathroom getting a BJ from his teammate Noah.
Yes.
was like,
Well,
this
Tanya sort
this
of
shit's crazy.
pushes off to go sort of find him, more or less, and she just happens to be outside the door as he's finishing off with Noah, and Amber sort of just like pulled her up on it, and they start having their little back and forth at the door.
And I think Amber was thinking that Tanya was with him too,
Yeah.
but
Well,
I
the
guess
way Conrad like opens the door and walks out and smiles, it all kind of looks exactly the wrong way.
I know. Where'd Noah go? Is he still in there? Like, 'cause
I presume
hiding?
he walked out. Yeah, who knows?
Is it on?
Maybe brushing his teeth, because he certainly didn't spit. He just kissed him afterwards.
And Tanya drugs Frank.
Uh,
What was she get? What were those blue pills she was giving him? Is that the same pills that Harley was given by the brother?
well, the brother didn't actually. He said he wanted to give them to Harley, but Harley didn't take them. So they're Viagra pills. Yeah. So like he gives them. He's going to give them to Harley to make sure like he could fulfill his obligations. And Harley's just like, well, weird, and doesn't take it. And then Tanya's overheard it and sort of grabbed him, because I'm pretty
Okay.
sure, doesn't that shit elevate your heart rate and stuff? I don't know. I haven't ever taken Viagra, so I don't know.
I'm guessing so, or
It
maybe she
might.
just, yeah, I guess she's just trying to do anything that would get him to die, pretty much. It
Yeah, and if
seems.
he's having heart problems, overactive heart, yada yada yada. Yeah,
Right.
but we're like her drugging him and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that's the thing, but it also gives him more energy. So she starts like, it's kind of funny watching her trying, like, all through the actor's facial expressions, trying to work out whether or not she's helping him or killing him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't know exactly where it was gonna go. I thought, but this show kind of has twists sometimes. So I'm like,
I think
you
that
know,
was kind of like, in a way, a bit of a humor approach, in a way to drag it out. So it's like it gets sort of dragged out a little bit further, but then you get this little joke there almost where Tanya's just like, am I helping him or am I hindering him? Like, like.
so before the wedding, Conrad and Amber are talking about like Shannon and Harley. They don't really want to go to the wedding, but Conrad's like, he's my
Called
mate.
them,
I
yeah,
kind of,
Amber called them white trash northerners.
yeah. And
For
she's
any,
one,
yeah, I don't understand. This is what I like. I sort of love watching shows from overseas, and like, I mean, it's easier with the US because we're exposed to so many US shows, so like it's more familiar. But like, I like this idea of the different types of ways that countries perceive themselves, and so like my country's the same. The northern area up here, like where I am, would be considered like the white trash places, like the rednecks area, like your southern states.
true, true.
Yeah. And so like I think it's fun. I like, I mean, it's all stereotypes and stuff like that, but it's just interesting to hear them in different and see them sort of expressed with a different lens on them, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we saw like the footballers in the locker room at one point. And this is where we saw Full Frontal, which you told me was coming, and I
Yeah.
totally forgot. But I was like, oh, there's Dick, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit. So you got a
Yeah.
bunch of and a penis. I'm like, I wonder who decides like whose penis is being shown. Like,
I mean, I did read somewhere. So I did read somewhere, like, I think it was like in Spartacus, because there's a lot of nudity on that show and all that. That
okay.
what was it? They appreciated one background actor, like one of the gladiators in like the little. And they were in the bath area. Like, I can't remember what the fuck they called them, but where they put the oil on and scrape off and everything. So it's
Yeah.
all these blokes walking around. A lot of them have like a rag or their loincloth or whatever. It's not a loincloth, but their version, the Roman version of it. It's some long word, but anyway.
Right.
But there was this one guy that did the whole scene as the background character, just butt ass naked, and you saw everything in the shot, like it was, and stuff like that. But apparently they were like, no, he was just totally down for it, like, and we appreciated it. It was like a level of authenticity, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, I remember reading somewhere that the guy opted to do it. Like, so who knows? It might be similar.
Yeah. Like who's well hung? Who wants to show off? I will. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we've got to do this dumb scene where everyone's naked because we're in like a bathhouse or in this situation. Like,
At the wedding, After the BJ situation, Amber and Tanya spat. Amber runs off, all upset. And then at the end of that episode, Amber calls Conrad and says she's kidnapped and someone came back for her.
Yeah, because by the looks of it, Conrad comes home, Amber's gone, and it's nighttime, and then it shows him waking up on the couch the next morning, and he's sort of like, oh, and she's not around, nothing's been moved, so he's thinking that she's just being real petty. And then he gets this rushed, hectic phone call that says, "No, Conrad, they don't," you know.
And then, of course, we have Shannon and the wedding stuff. Darius has Shannon's magazine cover in his locker because now she's posing for magazines already. I was like, quick, trying to show off her bosoms, her new bosoms. She talks about.
Presumably it's been a little while, dude, because she's had a tip job and it's all healed, and now she's able to take photos. So, like, I always just kind of, you take it pretty loosely, but if I always with the time jumps, because you're right, like there is a lot of, it moves very fast, and at times it's like, oh, is it the next day or is it the next week? And it's sort of more like that's where I say like like where things move in dialogue.
With the time jump though, it kind of cracked me up because with Patty, because Patty's still a baby, so I'm like, I know Patty would probably, with the time jumps in between, wouldn't the baby be like 2 by now?
Yeah, he should be about 2.
Yeah, I guess he could be 2. I don't know. He is crawling already, so that's about 2, right? I think 9 months. I don't know. I don't know babies that well.
I would think that he would. I think that's about. I'm just trying to think of my niece and nephew because they're around those ages, and my niece, I'm pretty sure she's 2 this year, and she's on walking around and everything. Like, whereas Patty, I don't know. He looks appropriately right. You know,
I think 9 to 12 months is like when they start crawling.
Yeah, he'd be around. He'd have to be around 2. If you look at when he was, because he was born at the beginning of season 2, because that's when Chardonnay and Jackie come back, and presumably It's been a year, and then maybe they usually last season I think they jumped 6 months. I could presume it's been about 6 months because Chardonnay starved herself to death over the gap, you know. So I could believe 6 months. So yeah, he would be around. He'd be coming up to the 2 mark. Nearly 2.
Which we don't get to see him. And I forgot. I thought Jackie left, but she was back in the last episode.
No, so wait, do you mean Jackie left as in like what she was doing at the end of season 2? Because she's been in season 3 pretty heavily so far.
Yeah, she was, but then I thought, didn't she like go somewhere or something? Because I thought she was like leaving town or whatever. I thought because she wasn't in these.
I thought she just was going. Like, I didn't think she was like leaving.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I missed that, but dude, I can't recall it directly either. I only watched it last night. But yeah.
Of course, Shannon talks more about plastic surgery and kind of makes a joke that Harley should get a bigger penis, which I thought.
When he nearly spits his drink out.
Shannon has a friend, Jordan, that comes to town to help her get ready for the wedding. I don't know if Jordan hangs around because they weren't in the other episodes, so I guess not.
Oh no, she doesn't. Footballers' Wives started to do like little celebrity appearances and stuff like that. And I was just gonna, what's funny is I know it. Like, I'm so used to hearing her as Katie Price now that like that's who I thought of when she popped up, but she was Jordan then. So I was like, I forgot she was in this.
Oh, who is she? I don't know her. Is she she's a singer?
No, she's like just a British celebrity.
So it's wedding time. Everyone's arriving in their cars and all that stuff. They show that Shannon's brother's there, who gives the Harley the pills at one point to get it up. I guess he was having problems. I don't know. I didn't think he was.
No, the brother-in-law's just being a dick.
Just being a dick.
Yeah, he's just like, just to make sure, it all goes to plan and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, they're just being douchey. He's just being douchey.
which of course, which leads to the hot air balloon, which they were going to get pictures with. He and Shannon get a hot air balloon. The brother kind of sends it off, and they go away.
Bye-bye. Yeah, her brother and her best friend decide they're gonna stuff around, and they let loose, and off they go. It's actually pretty funny though, watching Roger and Hazel like lose their shit over it though.
Well, yeah, I guess because they're at risk, and they're just like, holy, what are we gonna do? Like,
well,
can't
Roger
get them back.
I just love the way Roger just points out the finger, and he's like, "I ought to kick the shit out of you!" Like,
so they eventually figure out how to get down with like pulling whatever, and it lowers.
Yeah, they figure it out.
They show them on like this land and like this little lump. They come up, and they're like gonna have sex or something on there. They're like, oh, whatever, and they're kind of happy they got out of the situation.
Yeah, and they start making out, and then next minute
they see a sign that there's wild animals around in that area, and you hear like a growl. I'm like, okay, so this is what's happening here.
This is exactly what's happening.
So, episode 5, no title, March 3rd, I'm so sorry, March 10th, 2004. We see that Kyle and Elaine banged, so they did have sex finally, and she's still kind of like acting like it's part of therapy. She's like, it's just still therapy, whatever. We know she's falling for him.
Yeah,
and I don't even know how you'd fall for him right now, because he's like acting like a little bitch all the time, and I'm like, he'd be like annoying. Whatever.
There's a scene, I don't know if it's this episode or the next one, but there is a whole scene there where they get into that fight or whatever, and he decides to tell her everything, and then literally it transitions to them being in bed, and he's finished telling the story. And I just laughed my freaking ass off. I was like, what? Like, so was he telling the story during it, honey? Like, what part about this story made you want to drop your drawers?
Right.
Like, we'll get to it, but it's just, I laugh at it every single time because it's so weird.
That is because my last note for this one is we see that I think we saw maybe in the last one too that Kyle was gambling and he won money. Yeah. And this one he lost money.
Wasn't it like a couple of $100,000 or something?
Yeah. And the last one was only like 45,000 that he won. So now he's actually like losing money.
Yeah.
And that's honestly all I have for him in this one. There really wasn't much of him in here.
No, it's just going over his his growing gambling addiction and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's sort of like, passing it off as like, oh, it's just like play money or like this or that, and it's like, that's 40,000. This is 200K or whatever it was. Yeah. And then of course, oh, sorry, what?
I could never play with money like that. I don't care how rich I am.
I think I could spend like a lot of money easily, but I don't think I could play with it like that. Like I don't know. I mean, even with food, spending heaps on food, you still at least have a full belly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't think I could gamble as an addiction.
No. So Harley and Shannon face off with a lion.
Yeah.
Totally superimposed. It cracked me up.
Of course. Come on now. What were they going to do actually? Like, did they have the money for an actual lion? Come on.
Why not? It's this. What is it?
Pay a lion tamer for 3 seconds of shot?
They had a better lion on Days when he killed Tony.
Oh my god, they did not. That was the way that was cut was terrible. I still love it.
It's probably equally as bad, honestly.
Well, I mean, one thing I'll give Days is at least when you see the shots of there's shots of the tiger probably just walking or jumping, but the way they've edited it, it looks like it's pouncing, and I think they put that big red lens over everything, and it's all like and they do the close-ups. and stuff. I do still like it, but Days
Yeah,
at least had a real tiger, I think, in the cage.
yeah.
Like, like that was actually, you could tell it was real, even if the paws that smack Tony's face aren't. Like,
Right. That was funny with those paws. They should have did
yeah.
something like that. It would have been more amusing.
In
But no,
saying that, though, I still think they did it fairly well. I actually don't mind that scene myself. But yeah, no, we have a horrible CGI lion just chilling in not too far off the basket where Harley and Shannon have crash landed.
I don't
And
even
then,
know. I don't even know if it was CGI. It almost looked like somebody filmed it and kind of put like a film in it. The way it was.
yeah,
It,
I think it's like we find out that they felt their crash landed in like a national park, and that's why there's like a lion running around like somewhere in London. Like
it doesn't. The ranger saves them or whatever. Like
yeah.
it was kind of quick. I thought it was gonna like kind of go on for a little bit, but it really didn't.
It was. I think it was more of just like the joke of it, and it sets you up to want to watch the next episode. It's not. It was like a cliffhanger, but not really.
Right.
Yeah. And
Um.
Harley and Shannon, like it's just a lighter story. And considering, if you think about it, like what's sort of happening with the other characters, it is probably more of a tension release story.
And Harley and Shannon, I guess, are kind of forced to have a press conference, and she embellished like on it, like, oh, there was this, whatever, and we were in danger, and it saved our lives, and all this stuff. Amber calls Conrad again for money. I think she wants 1 million. What do they? Well, she's saying that they won $1 million.
Yeah, I think it was 1 million. Yeah, and
Yeah,
the camera does like these little focuses on her lips and her mouth and everything like that because it's. Is this the part where it pans out and we see where she actually is?
yeah, it does show that in a minute. Like Conrad goes to Hazel for help with Amber.
Yeah,
They need him by Friday. She'll help with the money. He puts up half. She'll put up half. Um, Noah tries to make some kind of date with Conrad, and Conrad's like, I don't date dudes. Like, what's wrong with you? And then yeah, we see Amber like eating and kind of just like enjoying a pampering day or something wherever she's at, which I definitely knew was happening the way they
yeah,
filmed it.
yeah. The way I was gonna say that's a dead giveaway, and I'm like, she's scamming. Like,
Yeah,
see, she's faked her kidnapping, and yes,
I wish she just took the money and ran. I would have, but I guess she
see,
actually.
it's not about the money.
And she calls Conrad. I'm surprised they didn't like try to trap her or anything, but they didn't. I thought they were gonna like come out or something, but she got the money.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, Hazel's like all sus on it from the beginning. She still does it, but Hazel's sus on it.
uh,
Yeah.
I
Whereas
kind
Conrad's kind of just acting like someone, like a family member who would be sort of upset. They're sort of taking everything at face value.
right. I kind of have to go into the Tanya story because it kind of intermingles. So
Well,
Tanya
yeah.
feels like a prisoner with Frank. Um, she tries to get with Conrad, but he's too worried about Amber to like care about her issues right now. Tanya calls the paper with the story of Amber missing because then
Yes.
Conrad sees the paper and he flips out. He's like, "Oh my god, whatever," because he knows it would be a problem, I guess, for the team.
No,
Um,
because the guys told them, as far as he knows, he's not supposed to bring the police in because they'll kill her.
oh, that's true. True.
Yeah.
Tanya drugs Frank once again. She's drugging him in every one of these episodes.
Yeah.
This time, I think it was another blue pill. Amber hides the money. She like buries some money and she puts something in a tree. I didn't know what she did because she didn't go back to that tree later, so I was confused.
No, she's counting things. So she's counting her steps to like set
And
up
Mark
the
faces.
and just set up the drop and all that. Yeah.
I- she waves the car down. She put like dirt on her face, and she's like, "Oh, somebody, whatever." And then she has to go to the police, report it. She says it was a crazy fan of hers. She reunites with Conrad. It looks like the footballers are doing well. They get like a thumbs up from what's his name, Roger.
They win their game, don't they? And they're like, because they're heading for the premiership or something like that, or it's looking good anyways.
Yeah. Which I feel like is the first time in a long time that they're actually doing decent. Amber kind of lies to Tanya, and Tanya like they show her like this close up, and she's like looking at her ring and looking eyeballing her to see if she has any like cuts or anything, I guess.
Yeah.
And Tanya's
Tanya,
suspicious.
yeah, she's sussing her out. So every time Amber says something about her, like, oh, they tied me up, Tanya notices that she doesn't have any bruising on her wrists, so all that sort of stuff.
Right.
So, like, what Amber says doesn't match up with sort of how she is.
How did Tanya end up at the hotel that she was at? I was confused at that. I guess, was it near the hotel she was found, so she went there?
No, Tanya went there to dig up dirt.
How did she know it was at that hotel?
Because, what was it?
Where she found was right near it, right? Like where she was. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but I was like, 'cause she went like right there immediately.
Because it's not like it's because it's out of the way and all that. That Tanya would know, and that spa, it wouldn't be a cheap spa. It'd be like ritzy. So it's not like Tanya wouldn't already know about that place. And
Right.
so where she was found, the fact that her nails aren't broken and they look she looks fresh, like she's just had a makeover, more or less.
If that's where Tanya went when she was separated from Jason that time. I'm not sure.
I mean, it's obviously within a driving distance, and they're supposed to. I think they live in London. But yeah, I'd say it's just a bunch of that sort of stuff.
And she pays the guy to show her the video where she sees the video of Amber at the desk. They zoom in, and she's like, "Got her."
Pretty much.
My actor spotlight was Jamie Davis, who plays Harley Lawson. Most recently was in a Hulu movie called Matriarch, which I didn't watch yet. It's supposed to be like a horror movie too. And
you know me, I'm like, if it's a slasher, I'll see it straight away. But if it's like anything deeper, I'm like, I'll get to it.
Yeah, I saw it. I put it on my list actually when it came out, and I just never watched it. But it doesn't even have a name listed for him. So now I want to watch and be like, is he a character or?
He's just there.
He also did a series called Casualty, which I guess is our Law and Orders here that never go off the air because it was on from 2009 to 2018. He was in it. He did 169 episodes that it's listed on IMDb.
Nice.
And it's still on apparently, whatever the show is. So I don't understand how their shows work there, but anyway, because that's a lot for a British show. Because I feel like don't they usually have like 6 to 10 episodes a season? So for him to be in 169 episodes is pretty crazy.
It depends. I think like something like The Bill has heaps of episodes, but then something like Footballers doesn't. So I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how their network stuff works versus other things.
And guess what other thing he did? That doctor show every other British person does.
Yeah.
That I need to look for. I need to find it. So season 3, episode 6, no title, March 17th, 2004. So St. Patty's Day. And it's kind of funny because this is where Patty makes an appearance. Patty.
Yeah, he does.
Jackie is back. She kind of sees that Elaine and Kyle were together, and I guess she's just like, oh, whatever. I guess he's finding love again. I don't know.
Yeah, she's sort of like, she's seeing the lighter side of Kyle come out, like he's more at ease, and she thinks it's not just because of that though. She thinks Elaine. I think she says something at some point to Elaine that she's better for Kyle than Chardonnay was because she's like, I think it's just like Elaine's more down to earth. Jackie didn't see Chardonnay as that. She always saw her as the princess, the model,
Right.
And in some ways, Chardonnay always was, but
she was. But I felt like she was likable. Like I didn't think she was a bad person. You know what I mean? Like, And Jackie kind of, I don't know. I just felt like they just didn't hit it off for some reason. And
those two didn't hit it off necessarily either. But you got to think too. Chardonnay's the reason why Kyle's going through all of this.
Right.
Like I know that like it makes sense, and she was like guilty and blah blah blah. She did terrible, but like everything that happens with Kyle from series 3 is because of the decision that Chardonnay made, both to starve herself to death and killing Jason.
So Jackie asks Elaine to watch Patty. I was confused at why she didn't ask Kyle too, but I guess because he's having issues with him now.
I think it's just because she knew she'd be there, and Kyle's just being a dick. So it was just like, can you just keep an eye on him? And I think it's just because they were all there.
And I guess it was a good thing because he turned his back on the baby when she went to get something, and
He
baby
plunges.
crawled right.
Yeah, drops headfirst right into the pool.
But Elaine ran and saved him.
Grabs him, like immediately jumps in after him, pretty much.
And
Because
that's
she puts one and one together pretty quick. Because she's like looks at Kyle, sees the baby thing's empty and the wide open door. It's just like friggin' hell.
and this is where she like looked at him like, what is wrong with you? And then the next scene, like you said, they were in bed together, and he's telling his story about how Patty isn't his, and then he says he loves her. And she's like, don't do that. Like, what are you doing? He's like, but I do. So yeah.
So
So I guess
I just thought it was weird. Like the kid almost dies, and like,
right.
and not just that. Where's the kid now? Like he's talking about it. It went from outside to bed. Like it's just such a weird transition. I was like, okay.
Yeah. It would have made more sense, like if they maybe were making dinner or like eating together, and then like something, you know what I mean? Like
Or they
after,
had the conversation with Patty in the shot as well, because then it would hone in the connections or the lack thereof between him and his son. Like,
right, right,
I just think that they could have done it in a better way, or at least a more thematically effective way.
right. So yeah, he opens up to Elaine. Later on, Elaine gets mad at Kyle. I forget why she is mad at Kyle.
I think it's because of his money. It's
The
money
race,
spent, and he's lost a shitload of money again.
right? They went to the racetrack. Kyle bets on a horse. She's like, didn't really want to bet and whatever. And then his horse falls and he gets all upset and she's mad because whatever,
And
because of that.
not just falls. It's a big stack, like to the point where they'll have to put the horse down.
I didn't catch that for some reason.
That's the bit where he walks away and says, "Just do it." And Elaine's like, "I'm sorry, I know how much that horse meant to you." And he goes, "No, you don't."
So
That's
that's why.
then Kim. Yeah, that's when they shot it.
And then they were fighting in front of Jackie, or Jackie was fighting with Kyle, and he smacks Jackie for saying
Yeah.
that he had problems. Draws blood again. I feel like like these people hit hard, man. If I ever hit that hard and draw blood, man, you're gonna get it. Like I'm gonna rub my blood all in your face. Like I'm gonna get. Fuck that. I did. I'm sure. Roger threatens Kyle. Um, well, he comes in and like storms at him and kind of like puts him in a chokehold.
Yeah. Yeah, Roger just storms through and goes off.
Hit your mother again, and no more gambling. You're out, and all this stuff. And he flips out. He's like, "Wake the fuck up, grow up."
Doesn't he threaten him with like violations professionally as well? Like, because Roger's coach, he can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just goes off. It's a good scene because Carl has had it coming for at least the last 2 episodes.
Right. So this was the most that Kyle was in it.
It escalates further as well.
Tanya is well, yeah, we have three episodes left of the season, so yeah, I can imagine. So I guess he doesn't get his shit together in the next 3 episodes. Tanya's still trying to bang Frank to death. She tells Hazel about Amber's fake kidnapping. Conrad and Amber grow closer. It appears. He doesn't want anything to do with Tanya anymore. Tanya follows Amber to her buried money.
She records, doesn't she?
She does. She records it, yeah. Noah and Conrad talk. Noah says that he has a girlfriend now. He has somebody interested. I guess he's trying to be like, I don't know, throw that way. Maybe he'll be drawn to him in some way. I don't know.
Noah's character. I think the character starts off strong, but I don't think they use him effectively as it goes on. You'll see what I mean, but like, yeah, he just kind of has like he's a bit one note.
I know it gave me like stalker vibes or something that was going to lead.
Well, he doesn't go crazy or anything. He doesn't turn to a stalker or anything. It's just like
that's the same.
A lot of like self-loathing and like it gets weird.
Tanya tries to tell Conrad about Amber's mess. I think he shows the video, or she shows the video with Hazel, and he doesn't believe it. He says, "I trust my wife. Stop saying this crap, whatever."
Well, he refuses to believe it. So, like, Tanya's
Okay.
gone to him with the idea that it could be Thingo once, I think earlier, comes to him later with the actual evidence, and he's just like, oh, finally, what the hell did he say?
The bag.
She's, oh, the battery went low. The bag, that's right, the bag. And he's like, oh, it's funny how you didn't get her to catch that. You didn't happen to catch that, though, you know, like, yada, yada. He's just looking for ways to not believe it, because it is pretty full on. It's a crazy thing to do.
It's full on, but at the same time, you really couldn't tell it was her in that picture because of the way it was shot. Because she's shooting with like a regular little camera thing, so you couldn't tell it was her.
Stop
But
moving. Sorry, he just started moving. I'm like, ah.
who, our animal? Your animal?
Yeah, the dog. Oh yeah, I should have clarified that. No one can see it. It's like I just got some person like strapped down. Stop moving.
He has a ghost.
Went from like a soap opera to a soap opera horror really quickly. Like, anyway.
Oh, Frank's doctor's appointment went great, and he feels younger than ever. And he goes and he gets tattoos. I was like, oh, okay, this is where I thought it was going to go one way, but then it does not. Noah wanks to Conrad's magazine spread. I was like, okay.
Because even though he was dating some girl celebrity or whatever, yeah, he's still hitting it to Conrad.
Was he really dating her though? I thought he just said that, because wasn't he?
That's what I mean. Like that's what the viewer. He says that the viewer's like, oh, okay, and then the next scene that we see him in, he's frigging himself over Conrad's picture. So you know.
Conrad confronts Amber about the video. He's like, I wanted to believe you, but I saw the bag that you pulled out, and then I saw the bag in your car, and then that's how he knows for sure it was her.
Yeah, because he goes up, doesn't he? And he checks the boot or something. Like I can't. Yeah.
Yep. And she just says, like, I did it because I wanted attention, I wanted your love, and whatever. And
you wouldn't stop talking about Tanya. You wouldn't stop looking at her and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I don't blame her, honestly. I really don't. I'm kind of glad that she did that, although it didn't work out in her favor. But
I mean, I could understand her feelings, but faking a kidnapping is insane.
I mean, there's been worse.
I mean, there is, but like, I just like it's like there's a huge leap in logic there, where you feel this way and you want them to go away. So instead of, oh well, I suppose she did try and force an ultimatum with him, and he still didn't anyways. But this is the thing: Amber obviously doesn't want to leave Conrad. So which would be the only solution to him constantly cheating on her with Tanya, because it's not like they haven't had people in the relationship before. Like they've had 3 ways and they do that. But from what I gather with Amber and Conrad,
what Amber did though did work. So if she weren't stupid and got that bag right away, she probably would have gotten away with it for a little bit. But she fucked up.
Okay, this is an oldie, but it's a goodie, and it's a goodie because it works. Not only did she have that man's ring on her finger for X amount of years, I don't know how long they were married for in the show, but she has a womb. Just get pregnant.
Yeah, but would he have? I don't know. Do you think he would have cared after that?
Yeah.
Only because,
you'll see what I mean later.
But he blew off Noah and he blew off Tanya just for Amber when she was found. So I feel like what she did work. And yeah,
because it's the novelty of like, oh, yeah, they don't leave it long enough if Conrad was gonna, so they don't leave it long enough from the time she comes back to the time he finds out to know whether or not this was authentic. Because of course he's going to be happy to see her. He thought she was going to be murdered. And like even if he was cheating on her, it doesn't mean that he doesn't still care about her to the point where like I don't, I'll cheat on you, but I don't want you to die. Like that sort of thing. I've always thought it was interesting in that regard. But Amber and Conrad also have the history, so of course there's going to be the level of closeness, but we don't see it long enough between when she comes home to when he finds out whether or not it would have been legit. But what it does do is completely alienates him from her.
Oh, but I'm assuming this will amp up the feud with her and Tanya,
Yeah,
which
no.
I'm assuming, which will be awesome because I'm excited to see that now. Conrad is mad at Amber. Amber gets the boot. Oh yeah, she hires somebody on the phone. She calls somebody. We don't really know who she's talking to. Conrad goes to Noah's for a bang after that because he's upset. So of course you want your crazy stalker person to suck your cock.
Yeah.
Tanya drugs Frank again for the third time. This time it's like cocaine, this stuff, because she snorts some as well as she puts it in his drink, which I
There's a
thought
giant claw fingernails.
there's the Tanya we know and love.
Yeah.
Amber goes to some guru man or a gypsy type person for a curse.
They so Amber's like I want to say she's Hindu, sorry.
Oh, okay.
And so they incorporate that a lot into her manias. I would actually, the way Amber plays out, she's a lunatic. So like the way it's played is if like the woman has a legitimate mental illness and she goes through like a mania almost, and they usually show her doing that religiously a bit. That's when it comes out the strongest. There's a bit where she loses her mind later and it invokes Kali.
I'm gonna feel for her. I always feel for the crazy people or
Amber,
misunderstood.
Amber, like, look, Amber's crazy now. She gets worse. Like, I don't know how to describe it. With like, it's really well done, and I like the way that they incorporate this sort of religious system that the character has into the show. But there's no actual magic at play for anything. So it's not like they're introducing magic in the same way that like it happens in like Sunset Beach or Passions or something. Like
Right.
it's just her and the way she is. Like and yeah, and what was it? And I think later on she has a few ceremonies and they celebrate. I obviously I don't know how authentic it is, but they're all dressed very like sort of formal, sort of like formal events, and it's all very like cultural. They're all in like Hindu garb and stuff like that. So the character herself is actually quite spiritual.
So that pretty much ends their story. And then Frank and Tanya are banging again. And then this time leads to, the old chest pull.
Yeah,
And Tanya's like, "You need these." And the intense. This was an intense scene because she's like, the way she was shaking and
yeah,
it's almost like, oh God. It felt like a lot of emotions from her. I got like she didn't want to do it. I got that she needed to do it for because she felt trapped because of him and stuff. I just got every emotion from her when she was
yeah,
doing this. So she holds his
yeah,
heart medicine. He tries to use the phone. She doesn't let him. She hangs up. She's shaking like the whole time, and like she feels his pulse like when he finally goes, and then
and
like and
she
just like
has
her and pulling out a cigarette, and it's just like I was like, damn, it was good. That's like Emmy nomination material right there. The way she pulled that off, because I felt all of her stuff. I was just like, shit.
yeah, she's fantastic. And I agree. It's not like you normally. So the thing is like I'm a big fan of if you're going to have a character sort of morally transgress to an extreme, you have to have sympathy. So if you want the character that you're changing or doing this terrible thing, because these are all human people. This isn't like a good versus evil story where people like Lord of the Rings or any of that sort of crap. It's just a simple sort of people story. And I think that Tanya, it, you're right. It's just such a great scene. I pretty much said it all. I was trying to like think of some more to say, but yeah. And she's still sympathetic after this. She's still sympathetic after this, even though she did this terrible thing, and it's because of how she portrays it.
Right.
Because Frank really didn't deserve to die.
Well, and it's not the first time she tried to kill him. She did try
No,
to off him in the first season.
no. In the second, she just tried to make sure she kept getting away with it.
I'm actually gonna miss Frank. So R.I.P. Frank. If he's dead, I'm assuming he is, but all right, but yeah. I mean, you never know. Sometimes you can run in the last minute and save his life for all I know.
Yeah.
Um,
Nah, footballers
Nurse.
tends to be pretty grim with that stuff.
So yeah, that was probably my favorite episode out of all of them. It was nice to see Jackie back, and it was nice for Kyle to have more material because I kind of was like, you know me, I'm always like I like when you have first season people in, I feel like they should have strong stories, you know. So it's like nice that his is amping up a bit.
Yeah.
So my actor spotlight is Marcel Mukala, who played Noah. Still does stuff today. He did that stupid doctor show in 2015. Something called Number Blocks. I think he was in a lot of that, whatever that series was.
I'm
And
not sure.
he also does video game work as well. He did something called Baldur's Gate. Did you ever hear that?
Oh, Baldur's Gate, yeah.
He did, and that was in 2023. So yeah, so he's around, and he does. Oh, the Number Blocks is a kids show, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does kids shows, and that's like recent. So I was like, that's interesting. Maybe he really likes kids, like that Rachel lady that's here that does that shit for babies. Um. So yeah, that's all I got on him. I think yes. Um. So yeah, these were fun. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the next three.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent ending. I would say it's not your typical cliffhanger that footballers normally does, but it's still a good one that leaves you sort of go, oh, I want to watch more, you know?
Thanks for joining us this time of Queers and Soaps. Follow us on all the socials. Until next time.